What is up, guys? Today, I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done before. We're going to be going into a simulation. We're going to see what changes in the NBA from the years 2000 to 2009 as we go about this simulation. So, we're going to be spectating as the Atlanta Hawks. I can't affect their team in any way in spectator mode, but it makes me choose a team, so I chose them. We're going to see what changes throughout this time. Let's go through, here we'll look at MVP voting from last year. We could look at everything and how all these teams look. And I'm not going to do that because I don't want to make a ridiculously long video for y'all. So as a review in real life, in 2000's, the MVP voting, Shaq won, Karl Malone came in second, Gary Payton was third, Kevin Garnett was fourth, Tim Duncan was fifth, Lonzo 6, Vince Carter 7, Kobe 8, David Robinson 9, Grant Hill 10. Don't actually know if that was how it was in real life, because I just saw that it rates Shaq as Defensive Player of the Year. I know he never won one, but that's how the game rates the top 10 guys as of the first year. So, just a quick refresher on who's the best at this time. As we go through the simulation, people are going to be drafted to teams that didn't draft them in real life. They're going to have all sorts of changes occur. So let's see who gets the first pick in the draft to start it off. Chicago gets the first pick. I don't feel like they get the first pick in 2000 in real life, but I can't prove it. Let's see who they pick. The first overall pick, Darius Miles, Mike Miller, Ida Turgo, Zoo, Morris Peterson, Jamal Crawford, Keon Dooling, Quentin Richardson, Stephen Jackson, Chris Porter, and Stromil Swift. Sum up the top 10. Let's see, looks like Mike Miller and Darius Miles expected to be pretty good. Everyone else is kind of mid, which is unfortunate. But now I'm going to skip until the season starts, and I'll be back with y'all in a minute. Sweet, well here we are. Some things have changed right off the bat. Shaq is now rated as the 10th best player. Kobe is no longer in the top 10. But let's talk about it. Dirk's in 9th, Stephon Marbury is in 8th, Michael Finley in 7th. So Dallas has 2 top 10 players. Chris Webber's in 6th, Gary Payton 5th, Eddie Jones 4th, Steve Francis 3rd, Paul Pierce 2nd, and Timothy Duncan in 1st. Jamal Crawford is now ranked as the best rookie point guard, and rookie in the league. Top 5 teams: Dallas, Sacramento, New Jersey, LA, Clippers, by the way, and Charlotte Queens. So the Lakers aren't listed as one of the top 10 teams. That's really interesting. Oh, wait. Yeah, what? Hold up. Let me make sure that Earthquakes aren't them. I don't think it is. It's not. What the heck? The Clippers are just not a top 10 team in this simulation, or a top 5 team in this simulation. Well, that's crazy. Well, I'm going to simulate till the... And once we're there, we'll kind of look around and see what might be switched up. Sweet, so a lot of things look different than they did in the year 2001. For starters, Dallas is the best team in the league. The Lakers are the 8th best team in their division. New Jersey, I believe they're in that position. But interestingly enough, Philly's the 8th seed. I've got a feeling that they weren't that bad, because if I remember correctly, they made the finals the year before. But outside of that, there's nothing else I'm super shocked with right now. So we'll simulate till the playoffs, and I'll be back with y'all. So we only had one major change that I feel is necessary to mention, and it's that the Lakers didn't make the playoffs. Well, I want to see what seed they are real quick before we get into this, because that's insane. Because they won the 3-peat at this time. They ended as the 14 seed. What in the world is going on here? Let's see. They still have Shaq and Kobe. This thing ranks them both really low. Oh my goodness. 66s? Well, I don't really know what to say about it. I guess Robert Horry's injured, but he doesn't have that much of an impact. And this does impact age a lot more than real life does. So I guess that could be part of it too. Because their team overall is fairly old. But they're going to be adding a top 5 draft pick next season, it looks like. That's something we're going to have to be watching. Let's go through the playoffs now. Let's see what goes on here. See what they're cooking. Let's see what happens first round. It's a little slow. Okay. Nothing too surprising. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 win in the West, and 1, 2, 3, 5 win in the East. I think that's pretty standard. Let's keep it going. We have 1-2, 1-2 matchups on both sides, and so we'll pop in and see what the final teams look like. Dang, Dallas lost. They were cooking. So Sacramento made it. They have Chris Webber, Alonzo Mourning, Jason Williams, Peja Stojakovic, John Barry as their starting lineup. Chris Webber made it, y'all. The Kings made it. This is like almost like a what if the Lakers were crappy, but that's not what we're doing. But with them gone, I guess they're great. Jamal Crawford, who we mentioned, was drafted this year. Ended up leading his team to the playoffs. That's crazy. Jason Terry, Alan Henderson, Jim Jackson, and Jahidi White round up the starters. Looks like Jamal Crawford is going to be the GOAT of the simulation, question mark? Let's see, let's go through this. The first game of this round, we have the Kings winning. Second round, the Kings again. Third round, the Kings, and the Kings sweep. So Jamal Crawford is not going to be the GOAT of the simulation. But I'm going to simulate the draft, and we'll see who's drafted. So the Lakers ended up with the 5th pick. I know I'm focusing on them a lot, but that's because they're supposed to be freaking incredible. And ironically, they drafted Pau Gasol in this simulation. You couldn't make this up, because he's on their team forever in real life. So at the 5th pick, they just combined Shaq and Kobe with Pau. So that'll be a really interesting setup. But Andre Kirilenko goes first to Portland, then Tony Parker goes to Detroit, Jason Richardson to Milwaukee, Gilbert Arenas to Washington. Atlanta drafted Kwame Brown. Man, oh, this is a good. I like this simulation actually. Kwame Brown went where he like should in real life. Now people can't call him washed and trash, or they can, but it'll be more chill. That's good for him. But now I think we're just going to simulate the playoffs and see how things are looking there. So I'll be back in a... Sweet, let's check this out. So we have a 1 seed Memphis, 1 seed Chicago, 2 seed Sacramento, 2 seed Charlotte, 3 seed LA, 3 seed Boston, 4 seed Dallas, 4 seed Orlando, 5 seed Houston, 5 seed Jersey, 6 seed Atlanta, 6 seed LA. They're back. 7 seed Golden State, 7 seed Indianapolis, 8 seed Denver, 8 seed Cleveland. So I don't think there's any major surprises, but we're just going to simulate quickly through the first couple of rounds. See how they go, and then we'll probably check out these teams now. Sacramento makes it again. Shout out Chris Webber, Alonzo Mourning, Scott Pollard, Jason Williams, Randy Livingston. Looks like Peja's coming off the bench now. Let's see who else is in it. We've got Dallas. Okay, so Dallas makes it back-to-back. So that's a team with Dirk still leading the way. They're cooking in this simulation. We'll see if they get over the edge, though. We've got a Chicago team with Elton Brand, Meta World Peace, Tim Thomas, Damon Jones, Michael Dickerson. Man, this is a universe where Jerry Krause looks like the greatest general manager of all time. Y'all can't convince me otherwise, because he's picked this squad up again right after Michael Jordan left. And then Jamal Crawford, Deion Glover, Alan Henderson, Jason Terry, and Jim Jackson. I didn't realize Jamal Crawford was a 71. Oh my goodness. But let's see how these playoffs go from here on out. See, man, this thing is lagging, y'all. Let's check out the rest of this round. We've got Chicago versus Sacramento. Let's see how this goes. Chicago. That's game. Chicago. So Alton Brand won Finals MVP, averaging 17.92. He won Semifinals MVP, which they have in this. And Scott Pollard actually won Semifinals MVP. Shout out to him. We had Michael Finley win MVP. Paul Pierce won Defensive Player of the Year. Some pretty weird things happen in these simulations. Gilbert Arenas won Rookie of the Year. First team, Michael Finley, Steve Nash, Francis, Morris Peterson, Kobe Bryant, Alton Brand, sorry, I was thinking about Steve Nash. All defense, Paul Pierce, Ben Wallace, Alton Branch, T-Mac, and Stromil Swift. Hakeem retired this year. Anyone else interesting? Not. Oh, Anthony Edwards retired in 2002. That makes sense. Apparently there was another Anthony Edwards that played before. That's kind of cool. But I'll be back with y'all in a minute at the draft. Top 10 picks. Mari Stoudemire to Milwaukee. Nene to Seattle. Nicholas Lee to Philadelphia. And now I nailed it. You're welcome. Caron Butler to New York City. Drew Gooden to Miami. Mike Dunleavy to Toronto. DeJuan Wagner. Hold up, it's not actually in the right list. Drew Gooden went to Miami. Yao Ming went to Utah. The 8th pick, that's different. J.R. Bremer went to Detroit. Smush Parker at 10th rounds it out. Well, that's that. Let's pop up to, we'll check out what they say about what's going to happen in the league, like the rankings for teams this year. So I'll be back with y'all when we get. Well, here we are. Let's check this out. Jamal Crawford is now the best player in the league. That is accurate. That makes sense. Paul Pierce, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Steve Francis, Lamar Odom, Michael Finley, Alton Brand, Deion Glover, and Mike Miller round out the top 10 players in the league. Shout out them. Top 5 teams. Atlanta improved a lot. It looks like it's because their top 3 players all increased their value by a ton, so that's interesting. They're now the best team. Then it's Chicago, Golden State, Dallas, and LA. The teams that had the best players join them. Miami had a Quincy Lewis join them. They also had Vashawn Leonard leave them. Aside of that, I don't think there's anything interesting. I guess Houston had 2 solid, maybe 6th man, maybe starters join them. And New Jersey actually had 2 of the 5 best guys that moved in free agency go to them. But they also had a guy leave them. So that's interesting. The top rookie is a Marco Jaric. The 11th pick, Caron Butler. The 2nd pick, and Jamal Simpson, the 18th pick. So that's that. I'll see y'all in the playoffs. Yeah, these are the top teams. Just looking at this right off the bat, the East looks either really stacked or has a bunch of crappy teams. Because the West doesn't have a single team that won more than 50 games. East has Chicago with 70 wins, Atlanta with 63, and Milwaukee with 51. So let's see if one of those 3 won it, or if it is just a super weak East Conference. We have all 3 of those teams in the conference final, or in the second round. We got a 2-seed LA upset by San Antonio in the first round, which is crazy. Let's see if, yeah, San Antonio's out. But we have the 3 and the 4 seed in the West, and the 1 and the 2 seed in the East. And those Chicago and Atlanta teams must be stacked. No idea what just changed so much to make Chicago a 70-win team, but shout out them. So it looks like we'll have Chicago playing a 46-win Dallas, who has the same team they did before, just older. Michael Finley, Dirk Nowitzki, Khalid El-Amin, Greg Buckner, Bruno Sundov, and Steve Nash is the 6th man. He is a 53. Brother is literally a role player. And then the Chicago team, 70 wins, ridiculous. Has Elton Brand, Meta World Peace, Tim Thomas, Corey Benjamin, Michael Dickerson. So not really anyone insane, I would say. I'm actually surprised they made it here. Let's see if they can. No, I'm not. They're a 71 team. Let's see if they can finish off the perfect year. I imagine they would. Not many 70-win teams happen in this simulation. And Dallas did take a game, though, so shout out to them. But let's see, Tim Thomas won Finals MVP. Elton Brand and Michael Finley won semifinals MVPs. It's still ridiculous that the best team in the East won 20 more games than the best team in the West. Jamal Crawford was the MVP. Alton Brand was DPOY. Damon Jones was sixth man. Charlie Bell was most improved. DeJuan Wagner, Rookie of the Year. Here are the All-NBA teams, pause to see them, and here are the All-Defensive teams, pause to see them. But let us go to this draft, which is going to be a pretty big one, in case you don't know that. So this draft ended up going a lot better than it did in real life. LeBron went 1 to Miami, actually. Carmelo Anthony went to the Jazz at 2. We have Dwayne Wade going to Philly at 3. Chris Bosh going to Detroit at 4. Oops, I accidentally clicked away. At the 5th pick was Darko Milicic. But I'll see y'all in the playoffs, because I don't want to make this longer than it has. For this year, Chicago's even better. They won 73 games. As you can see, LeBron got to the playoffs his first year. So he'll probably have a Michael Jordan-esque start, where he's getting smacked by the best team in the league. We'll see how long that lasts for. Once again, the best team in the West won 49 games, and 3 teams won 50 plus in the East. The same 3 teams as last year. Let's get crack-a-lackin' and see what happens. Nothing crazy happens. Oh shoot! Some crazy stuff happens, never mind. 3 seed lost in both conferences, and the 2 seed lost to the 7 seed in the West. That is actually pretty crazy. So we're going to see a 6 or a 7 seed in the conference finals. Let's see which. 7 seed Houston makes it to the conference finals to face off against Dallas. And once again, we have the 1 and the 2 seed in the East. Let's see who makes it to the finals. That's tragic. And it's Dallas making it to face off against Chicago again. So this team has a new guy who's really good. Khalid Al-Amin is a 70 who's carrying a team that's now looks like it's washed. A couple 60s, that's about it. Facing off against Chicago, which apparently is the greatest team ever made at this point. Refresher on who they have, if it'll load. Dadgummit. See, they have 5 60s, which is actually insane. And then a 75 Meta World Peace to cap it off. So I guess it's not a shocker that they're sweeping through these playoffs and regular seasons, because back-to-back 70-win seasons would make them the greatest team of all time. Let's see if they can finish it, though. Only lost 2 games so far in the playoffs. Can they do it? Here we go. 2-0. And it lags. 3-0. Did someone say 4-0? 3-1? 4-1. So Dallas did take the game again. Well, what a great season by them. So this has taken longer than I thought. So we're actually going to simulate 1 more year. And I'm going to skip this draft class, because it's not a big deal who gets drafted in this draft class. But I'll see y'all in the playoffs, because actually we'll see who's the best players, and then we'll see y'all in the playoffs, I guess. Yeah, that works. Okay, so here we are. Let's check it out. Meta World Peace is the greatest basketball player in the world right now, followed by Jamal Crawford, Kobe Bryant, Troy Murphy, Gilbert Arenas, Steve Francis, Paul Pierce, Khalid Al-Amin, Kwame Brown, and Alton Brand. And what a universe we live in. Shout out Kwame Brown. He moved up 8 positions to get to this point. Troy Murphy moved up 6. What a alternate universe. Top 5 teams: Chicago led by Meta World Peace, Atlanta, Jamal Crawford, Kwame Brown holding them up. LA Clippers with Lamar Odom, Mike Miller. Washington with Gilbert Arenas, Keon Dooling. Denver with James Posey, DeMar Johnson. The best rookie is Andre by quite a bit. Then Josh Childress, Jameer Nelson, Carlos Delfino, Delonte West, Tony Allen, Trevor Ariza, Dwight Howard, Donta Smith, and Devin Harris. Also, Kobe went to Philly, who isn't the top 5 team even with him. And that's the major change that I see that happens. But It's pretty freaking crazy that he switched teams. But let's simulate until the playoffs. I'll see y'all soon. Here we are, the last deck in playoffs. Let's check it out. Denver in first, San Antonio second. We have LA third, Clippers, Utah fourth, Sacramento, Golden State fifth, Sacramento sixth, Seattle seventh, Houston eighth. Yes, Kobe did get us Philly to the playoffs, but Chicago's first again, third straight 71 season. Atlanta second, Washington third, Toronto fourth, Philly fifth, New York sixth, New Jersey seventh, and Boston eighth. Let's cruise through these. Or not. Okay, no huge surprises in the first round. Kobe made it, and then got swept by the greatest team of all time, apparently. 3 straight 71 season Chicago, who has swept everyone this year. And in the last year of simulation for now, they could close out in a sweep if they beat Denver here. So we'll see what happens, because that Denver team is 66 wins. Denver beat them! Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I totally thought we were going to watch Chicago three-peat. Let's see who was the... What? We had a James Posey win Finals MVP. Shout out to James Posey, congrats. Semifinals MVPs for Metta World Peace and DeMar Johnson. Guess DeMar must have struggled a little bit in the finals. But wow. It finally happened. Gary Payton, 6th man of the year. Shout out to him. He's still at Seattle in 05. Good for him. Iggy, rookie of the year. DeMar Johnson, won most improved. Metta World Peace, DPOY, and MVP. What a year. First team Metta World Peace, Jamal Crawford, Gilbert Arenas, Kobe Bryant, Elton Brand. Well, that's all for now. I hope you liked the first 5 years of this simulation. Let's see, yeah, 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. If this video gets 100 views, I'll do a second year. I'm going to keep it pretty low, because it's not like I have, or I'll do a second video, because it's not like I have a lot of people watching these right now. It doesn't get 100 views, I'll probably still make a video highlighting 06 to 2010. We'll see. I'm on the brink about that. But anyone that did watch to this point, thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe. And that is all.